Hey everybody, welcome back to Truck Talk and Time with Jesus. Our time with Jesus and Truck Talk. Jesus should always come before anything in our lives. So I'm just going to touch on part one a little bit and then just start running from there. So basically, people, I'm never coming against anybody, and I'm sure not trying to sound racist, and I'm sure not trying to do any of that. If that's what you're getting out of all this stuff, you have a bigger problem than what I'm speaking. You have to find peace inside yourself. If you're Christ-like, then you shouldn't have any worries of what I'm saying. It shouldn't bother you because you shouldn't be that way. I'm not racist, but if that's how you see me, that's how you see me. I'm not on here to convince you what I am or what I'm not. If anything, then let me give you this. The Lord said to the disciples, he says, do as they say and not as they do. And if you don't believe nothing I'm saying, then at least take the word of God and look it up for scripture and you'll find it. And in that silent time that you're finding it, have a moment to speak with him and he's going to lead you somewhere else in that Bible. I guarantee it. That's why it's called the living word. So that being said, we have to really pay close attention to all this stuff that's going on. I know there's a lot of talk about these elections and Trump this and Kamala this, and if you ask me, if you throw, you should to solve this presidency thing. I mean, honestly, the cheating, Trump won before, they proved it. The election was fixed. I mean, people, I don't know about anybody else, but I know I'm sick of listening about this fixed election. All that does, every time somebody brings that up, it just makes me go, why are we serving a government like this? Why are we paying taxes to a government that's so darn gone crooked? Why are we working so hard every day to give them money to be fools? Well, then we can also look at it and go, why are we not praying? Well, I come up with a solution. There's 4 years of presidency. Is that correct? Does everybody agree with that? You should make Donald Trump and Kamala both president. Let him go for 2 years and let her go for 2 years. Or vice versa. Do a year, the other one steps in and the other one becomes the vice president, the other one becomes the president, and just see what gets done. You can't say they cheated. Just the heck with this election. Let's not even vote for anything. Let's make the House 50-50. And the majority of it, whatever it comes out to there. I guarantee it's never going to come out 50-50. It's going to come out higher on one end than it is another. Or let's just say 51-50. So you basically, you got to have a split vote in there somewhere if it comes 50-50. Okay, if that's the case, then you look up somebody that is off the face of the earth planet here that don't vote, don't give a crap about who's in there or not, and let them make the final thing. Swing vote. There was a movie. Kevin Costner did it. I mean, enough's enough of this. Enough's enough of listening to these two bash each other down, rip each other down. Somebody made a good point, and I didn't disagree with him. I replied back to him, and I said the same thing. For somebody that got I heard the same thing, and now they're saying it's not true or this and that. I'm not saying that he didn't or he did, but all I'm saying is if he lost a chunk of his ear by that bullet grazing his ear, it would be noticeable. I mean, I seen a clear shot of his ear, that the right ear, that I didn't see nothing missing. You'd think there would still be a scar, a welt there or a scab or something. Now, I'm not saying Trump faked this. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying he didn't get hit. I'm not saying that he didn't fall and scratch his ear. I'm not saying that they didn't put blood on him to make it look like this was happening. I mean, if you really believe this government, Biden all of a sudden goes and takes all the Secret Service in there. Half the Secret Services were rented, I was told. Rented? We're renting Secret Services. Them people are highly trained. Where do you just go rent Secret Services? Where do you just go rent somebody with that high technology and that understanding over a grace period here Because Secret Service, I mean, people, see what happens when we start just assuming things and we go off our own understanding. That's why God said to go off of His and not ours. So here we go. Here we go down a rabbit trail that's it becomes nonsense. To bash people and to keep tearing people down, I have no place for that, and I sure don't. And I don't. That's why I don't listen to the news. That's why I don't get involved in that stuff. But unfortunately, it's everywhere, and you're going to hear it eventually. Especially when I'm driving down the road and I'm playing YouTube, and the next thing kicks on, and I'm stuck. It's usually when this kind of stuff comes on, I'm stuck in somewhere where I can't even focus on that phone to even push anything. Sometimes I'll just reach over and push it. And then guess what? Then I'm in worse trouble because now I'm listening to some other nonsense. Or somebody's else a view or opinion of what it is. I heard a guy today, I was telling Darlene, I heard a guy today said that he woke up from a dream and God himself told him the day and hour that he was sending Jesus back to the earth. And so I commented back and I said, and I was polite about it, I said, excuse me, I said, but can you give me a Bible verse where it says that? Because as far as I know, in the Bible it says no man knows the day or the hour, not even me, only my Father. No other word. So I hit Google, I hit that microphone thing and said, Google, give me the Bible verse where it says man shall know the day and hour of Jesus' return. It came back, nope, nothing found. Because there is nothing. You know, sometimes you get comments on here and you just sit here and you think, what in the world? And then tonight, I haven't really been reading a lot of the comments, and, I've been trying to answer the ones, I kind of just jump around. To newest, to middle, the old, back up to the new, back up into the middle, right before the new ones. And I got a comment on the last video, and and for some reason, I mean, I've heard people tell me before, but for some reason, it's just, this kind of just struck me in a way that it just made me feel really good. After all the craziness I've been hearing and everything, it just made me go, wow. And I pretty much thanked him at the end of it, for she's never judged me. Never. I've never heard her, and I could just barely see the little bit of the bubble. But you know what? To me, it doesn't matter what skin color anybody is. And no matter what skin color she is, she gets it. And that's what's awesome. Now, there's a lot of you that's been way back from the beginning of these videos. And some of you came over from Randy K. I don't know how many. There wasn't a whole lot that I know of. But even if it was over half of the people that subscribed, I don't care. Welcome here. Because I guarantee it, sitting and listening to me ramble on about stuff, you're going to get the raw part of it, and some of it may be hard for you to hear. But some of it's needed, because that open door that I was talking about in the last video, that open door is God saying He's going to pour out judgment. He's going to show everybody of this world the final judgment and the final things that's going to happen in the time of the rapture. That 7 years, He's going to show you everything. People, we've been seeing some wicked, twisted things. Yes, hurricanes. If you go back to the videos where I said, once the hurricanes start, the tornadoes start, the wildfires, all this stuff, shortages of food, all these things will continue and it will increase. It'll make you go to the point where you become a fear. But He says, do not worry. We're not to worry. Worrying's of the devil. Well, of one of the devils. Worrying's of Satan. Satan loves fear. You understand demons manifest quicker through fear. Why do you think scary movies are called scary movies? Because you're scared. Who made up the word scared? Who knows? Who made up curse words? Who knows? But we're so judgmental when we hear somebody say something that we consider a curse word. Well, show me in a dictionary where it comes out that. Because really, if you take one of our curse words and you narrow it down, it means 4 or 5 different things. Me and Darlene was talking about this the other day. And I'm like sitting there going, you take the, for instance, the F word. Look how many different things that means. It's stupid. I mean, it truly is stupid how judgmental and how we are about things. What's Christ-like mean to you? To me, it means be like Christ. When we accept him into our lives, we are washed. We are to be baptized. We are to forget about our old ways. Anything in your old ways that is not Christ-like, you are to forget about it. Movies, music, entertainment things, gambling. If you know, I guess buying a scratch off, I don't know, but if you're addicted to it and it becomes anything that becomes above Christ, pornography, you shouldn't even be looking at it, because all it does is lead you down the devil's trail, and it'll lead you right into lust. And before you know it, you're doing other things you shouldn't be doing. That's what porn does to you. Trust me, it does. Now, I'm not saying I did that, but I'm saying I looked at the filthy, nasty stuff. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it right what someone else is doing. But my thing is, you know, I looked at it back then kind of naive, because I wasn't a godly person. But I looked at it as kind of naive, going, I don't care what this woman's doing. Only thing I care about is raising my kids. Because every time I was absent from the home, I seen the nonsense that went on. And if I would have had enough time, but then again, I look at how much these children are today, and why I say I pray for them, but I don't have children today. Especially after what my youngest daughter just said, all this nonsense that she blasted all over Facebook. I mean, for real. And then you're going to send me a message saying that you love me? People, I don't need love like that. If you got love like that in your life, you need to get it out of your life. If it brings pain and misery to you, let me tell you, you're not going to see them in heaven. Live like Christ is coming right now. And it's a shame. I was just talking about this today. It's a shame it took me this long to get to where I'm at today. My God, I wish I had people YouTube and stuff back then. The devil made this stuff. The devil made this technology. The devil made these things take place. Look at all the time. What was it? 2 years that children spent out of school? And these kids wasn't learning anything. I've sat there and watched them. I watched Darlene's granddaughter. Most of the time, she sat there and did stuff. But then a lot of times, she was goofing off and doing whatever she was doing. But I also seen her when they did their Zoom call things, how happy and excited she got to see her friends. And then how sad she got afterwards. But let me ask you guys something about this big old CD. The IVID. Well, heck with it. COVID. Y'all thought I was going to compromise, didn't you? All these years, been doing these videos. I wonder who was sitting there going, my gosh, he's actually doing the code words. No, because I've been looking around and looking at other sites. I tried Rumble for a bit, but my gosh, trying to upload something on Rumble is by far ridiculous. I even tried using their camera thing and doing a video and trying to upload stuff. I've uploaded a few videos from this channel over, and it's still, I can't deal with that kind of stuff. It's just, technology is, I see why Satan did what he did with it. Because too many people are glued to their phones, too many people are living their phone, and that's what happened to these children. See, this is where abortion and all this stuff comes in, because they're trying to kill mankind off, people. If you can't see this, and you're going to stick on what Kamala's saying about the women's rights, and you're not going to vote because Trump hates women, I don't give a crap if Trump hates women. I don't care if Kamala wants to abort children. It's your responsibility. You're going to go in judgment in front of God for the dumb stuff that you're doing. Because you've been warned. There's no way you're going to tell me that you don't think that abortion is wrong. You're not going to be able to deny that in front of Christ. But let me tell you what, when it comes to the end time, the very end time where the new kingdom's being lowered down, it's not going to be what you think. You're not going to be able to go to God and stand in front of God's throne room and plead a case. You're going straight to hell. If you're left here, that's where you're going. Remember, as soon as them names are being called upwards, Lucifer's calling names to drag you out of here. Especially you lukewarm ones. The Revelations speak of the ones that run and hide into the mountains and try to disguise. Okay, Adam and Eve, how'd that work out for them? Not so well, did it, Adam and Eve? You're not going to be able to hide. You can't hide from God. You can't even hide now. If you think that even these videos that I'm doing right now, old Big Brother isn't watching me through these multi-freaking cameras that we have on these phones. You think by now, because I honestly think the only reason why these videos get uploaded is because if China does own YouTube, China probably sits there and goes, Dan, let him go. Because this man bashes his own country. The home of the brave, this place is a laughing mockery, disgusting, prideful, overfull of themselves. Because we, the people, you might as well burn the Constitution, burn the flag, and throw it all into the lake and let it be washed away. Because we stand for nothing. We don't stand together. We the people, no, we don't stand together. We are the opposite. We are going against each other, and they're laughing all the way. This is going to be the walls of Jericho, people. Before the walls come trembling down, we're gonna destroy each other. Look, read Jericho. Read the walls of Jericho, and look what happened in there. They became mad with each other. You don't think we're doing that now? You know, you look at all the major big motorcycle gangs, the riots and the rivals, and this is my turf, this is your turf. Are we not doing the same things? I wonder how many of these people are actually fearful of a bike gang when they come riding through town. You know why? Because it's a look. We go off looks. See, Lucifer is nice, clean dressed, nice, well-spoken, well-mannered, knows the proper words to use. Satan, he's clever with words, very clever. God sent his only begotten Son. Jesus went to the cross. He paid the price. He robbed the graves out of hell and gave us freedom. All we have to do, repent, be born again, washed, and surrender ourselves. He will do the rest. But you got to be willing to do some of the work. Are you willing to take a chance? You know, I agree. I think the reason why God kept me alive out of all of this nonsense, and I know some people say, man, I've had people tell me my life's a lie. Matter of fact, I had a woman that became like my mom figure, my landlord, and my boss all in one. And trust me, because of her, I was able to get out of the marriage I was in. And I was able to take care of my two youngest children. And I appreciate that very much. I really did. And I never forgotten what she did. But the thing that hurts me, I mean, I hear all the stories people tell me, but the thing that really hurts me is the fact that she never, ever, ever, ever contacted me. What happened here? Even if she did, it was the same song and dance. But when I finally did, all the years that passed, and I mean, it's probably been easy 10 years, when I finally sat down at breakfast with her, for once in my life, I didn't know what to say to somebody. I didn't really know what she wanted to talk about. I didn't know what was going to cross the line. And I just needed peace. because I've had too much bad blood. And out of respect for her, I hope that's what I gave her. But enough with that. You know, there's always more to a storybook. If you just read the first chapter and flip over to the back and read the back of the book and do your report, you're missing a whole lot of the story. See, nobody really knows what you go through in difficult times. But it doesn't matter. God does. And I know everything I've done, I've tried to please Him the most I can do out of all things in life. And I know some of you think I come a little hard on my children and the things I say by not having children. That's just how I feel, people. Nothing but pain comes from it. If you would hear some of the words, I mean, I've literally read stuff that my son wrote on Facebook about, I mean, at first when I'm reading it, because I got the screenshot and I'm reading it, I thought he was talking about me. And then when he names off his wife's stepdad, you're talking about a blow to the face. You want to talk about another blow to the face while I'm over there at my son's house, staying on the weekends when I was driving truck. Never once was I asked to take my granddaughter to a dance. But then I found out that Misty's stepdad took her a couple times. People forget so much stuff. So much. But it's okay. Because today is a new day. Them graves are already been covered. It's been covered so long now, the grass is over it and the flowers are blooming. And as I used to mow cemeteries all the time, it's just another stone. Just another stone. But I will tell you this before I get back into it, and this is pretty funny. My sister used to work at a lot of landscaping jobs. You know, I'd get her jobs there, and she would string trim pretty much all day. Some of them cemeteries, there was a lot to string trim around. It was Halloween time, and I worked at the haunted houses and stuff, so you got to bear with me here. I had this skeleton hand, and I put it on, and I was laying behind this log-like thing, and I had this like demons-looking mask pulled over, but it was so tight. It was like my lips and stuff moved, that mask would move with it. I mean, it was almost like watching The Mask with Jim Carrey. That thing was like skin on me. And I kept moving my hand, and she kept like looking down, but there was a mound of dirt where they would dump the excess dirt at, and there was a gravestones going that way. So I took some dirt and I just put over the hand, like covered it. And then when she come by and was string trimming, I just kind of like start popping the fingers out and coming down. And then she just stopped. She set the trimmer down and she's like looking, and I come jumping up out of there behind that stone. She ran. I mean, book. Left the string trimmer there, and I couldn't help but laugh. Not thinking I still had the stupid mask on. I pick up the string trimmer and I start walking back towards the truck, and she comes up out of that truck and just drew back and socked me right in the side of the head. And I'm like screaming at her, "What the heck are you doing that for?" But I wasn't saying them kind of words. And then I'm peeling the mask off. She goes, "I hate you." Jumps back in the truck, locks it, because it was getting dark anyway. We were going to leave because it was Thursday, and by the time I dropped off the truck, dropped her off, and then I had to get to the haunted houses. And she locked the door. She's like, "I hope you're late." But today I realize the evil. See, even joking around with it, the evil can attach to things. And that's why I'm against trunk or treat. I don't think churches should be doing this, especially with what I told you when the lady stood up there and says, "Now, don't wear scary things now. You don't have to, they don't have to. You already opened the door for the demons to come. I told you about the one we had in Florida. The only one I've ever been to. I said, well, let me go check this out. And you're walking around there, people are smoking marijuana, F-bombing this, F and that, going over and getting free food, throwing wrappers all over the ground, and going around the stations more than once. Anybody find a problem with this? And this is a church parking lot. Going inside to use the restroom. You notice what I just said. Many of them wanted to go inside and use the restroom. People don't like to use the spiritual language. People don't go into spirit time with God. I've been talking about this for a long time. You need to break down and find a quiet place in your house. I don't care what time of day it is. If your children, your family, your spouse, your husband, your dog, your cat, your goldfish is noisy, then put a sign up and say, shh, I'm going to prayer. You would think the rest of the house would go to prayer in their secret time. But instead, we're too busy glued to our phones. We're too busy watching movies. We're too busy playing kill 'em up, shoot 'em up video games. You have no idea who's on the other end of those microphones. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. But headache is what you're getting into. A big headache. It's my opinion of it. You can take it with a grain of salt. But I've seen too many things get attached to things. I mean, you look at dolls. You know, the story of Annabelle, from what I could read and actually know and listen to an interview of a guy that actually has that doll locked away, says he still hears that thing moving. Hears tapping on, tapping. It's time to let me out. I'm not going to discredit it because I've seen in a family member's house a doll clearly move and blink its eyes. I told you they moved a bunch of their stuff, but I still feel a bad presence when I walk in there. And then when I went to go to the main bathroom there, when you walk into her bathroom, it's like if you walk in the door this way, say I'm walking through her door, looking right at you guys. Her kitchen, her living room would be right off to your right. You walk straight ahead. There's like a sliding doors, but her kitchen's there. You walk this way. It's kind of like her dining room area. Straight ahead is where that creepy cabinet is, where that doll is. Then there's like a hallway, like an entranceway there. You got a bedroom off to the right, and immediate right there's a door where there's a bedroom. Then there's another bedroom, then a bathroom, then a door. I don't remember. I don't know if I even seen what was in there. But all I can know is I get bad vibes. I mean, bad. I mean, it's like I can almost feel like when I came out of that bathroom, I just felt like something did this to me. And then I walked past, and then I start seeing things walk. Same thing I seen in Mogador when we right there off Waterloo Road, right before we moved back to Florida. That's when Darlene's youngest daughter left. She didn't go back to Florida at that time. She stayed, and I would hear Darlene's granddaughter in there playing, and I'd hear her talking to somebody, and I'm telling you, I would hear a little girl talking back. I could tell the difference between her granddaughter's voice and that voice. I'd open the door and I'd look around, and the one time her granddaughter turned around and looked at me, and the way she looked at me, I'd stop for a split moment, and I looked again, and I walked over to the closet, opened the door, and she came out of the closet. I looked back, and that little girl that was on the floor was gone. See, it wanted me to believe that was her. I'm not stupid. I pay close attention to movements, people, and especially after all the years we spent with her. The weird thing is, my nephew was over. he had one of his kids over. You know, his kids were with him, and the one girl locked her in the closet. Was being mean to him. Isn't it funny? They go in that room and then that kind of stuff happens. Isn't that funny? Right before that, I walked in. I mean, days before all that, I walked in there and found her in the closet. Same thing as I would see what Darlene's daughter considered, because she had the room downstairs in the basement, and there was a back room that she called the stinky room. I just put overflow of boxes and stuff in there because I never knew where we were going to stay, whether we were going to stay there or not. And I really got tired of going look for boxes. And I put all the totes and stuff back in there, and she put her Christmas tree and stuff like that back in there, and some of her stuff. But she would call it the stinky room. It seems like every house we end up in, we got a room we call the stinky room. It just doesn't smell right. And then one day I remember I had clothes washing, and I went down the stairs, and as soon as I opened the door and started going down the stairs, I seen it standing by her door and turned and looked at me. And before I could even speak, it disappeared in through that room. And then I seen the door, whenever I got down to the bottom of the stairs, I seen the door open up. And then I seen her door open up. And I'm telling you, I heard her daughter's voice asking me to come here. And I said, no, you come to me. No, come here, I want to show you something. No, you come to me. It wouldn't. You got to be careful, people. I'm telling you, you're going to start seeing more of these watchers. You're going to start seeing more of these shift changers, these skinwalkers. You're going to start seeing more of this stuff. I mean, AI is so overpopulated right now, you don't even know if you're dealing with a human or not. All this stuff must take place. All these wars that are happening right now, the Lord said these things would increase, and here we are. He told me there would be a hurricane that come through, and they would overlook it, and then it would gain strength. Then he said then another one's going to come in right behind it. It's going to build up so much strength, it would hit Miami first. And they're getting ready to get hit in Florida with another one right now. So I'm watching carefully to see if this thing, well, I'm not watching it, but I'm waiting to hear to see if this thing, when it hits landfall, if it hits Miami first. I believe that's why he took us out of Florida. I remember the time when we was down in Florida, we had a bad hurricane come through there. And it was one of the ones we were through. One of them I was driving. I was up in Ohio, and I found out Darlene and her daughter went out exploring later on, which I was very upset by that. But she's a grown woman. You know, she knows Tai Bo. She put a whooping on me. Even all the fighting skills that I have, she would put a whooping. I wonder back in my day, if she ran, if I could catch her. I was pretty fast. My sister I was just talking about that I'd mess with all the time, she was driving her car one day, and she was about 15 miles an hour, and I kept up to her. She got about 25 before I finally couldn't keep up to her. That's pretty fast. But I ran every day with people. I mean, I didn't get like that overnight. I mean, I ran every day. 365, 366 on leap year if you want to be exact. Rain, sleet, snow, I didn't care. I ran. It was the only peace I had. I was an angry person. And it kept me calm. It really did. Besides hitting the bag. Sometimes the coach, I'd walk in there and he wouldn't let me even practice. He said, just go hit the bag until I tell you to stop. You know what it's like hitting a solid object? Just hitting it. And sometimes I get so mad, and I just start hitting it even harder, and just wailing and wham. Go up to the body, go into the body, go up to the top, go to the top. Then I go to the speed bag and you sit there and just do all this stuff. And he walks up to me and he goes, "You're still not calm yet. All right, go run. I'll come pick you up. Run this direction, this road to this road to this road to this road to this road. If you make it before I come pick you up, then you start running back them same roads, so I don't miss you." I got all the way back there, and he goes, "You're kidding me." I said, "No, go do it again." I ran it 4 times that night. It took me an hour and 45 minutes one way. It was on a Saturday morning, and it was kind of drizzly out, so we didn't work. I did that over half of my Saturday. I was so tired when I finally come back in, and I was ready to collapse. He says, "Go hit the bag again." I said, "Okay." And I'm over there hitting it. I was so tired, people. I didn't even realize. I didn't even take my hands up or put the gloves on or anything. I was just hitting it. And I finally just fell. He said, "Let me give you a ride home." Because I would run from where I lived. I'd run to, wasn't that far. Matter of fact, the company Dara Inland works for is just they were right down the road from right there on Maple Street. And Kenmore wasn't that far from there. I'd just run from Kenmore Boulevard to East Avenue, whatever road that was. There was a ice cream shop there, and I would run straight behind that. Kenmore Freeze, I think it was called. I'd make a left there, go to the first road, make a right, which is Hawkins, run Hawkins all the way to Copley Road down, and straight over to past Exchange, and go right behind that. There used to be a little gas station there. There was a Krispy Kreme's right up from there a little bit, and it was like the second building right there on the right hand side as soon as you made it right through that alleyway. See, before I let Jesus into my life, I wasn't very accepted in many places. Not with family, not even with friends. The only acceptance I ever felt out of friends is somebody that, because I had alcohol all the time. And I knew it, but I didn't care, because sometimes it was better to hang out with somebody that was just using you than sometimes be alone, because sometimes the darkness bothered me more. It's a horrible world, people. And I'm giving you all kinds of warnings. I'm giving you things to look out for in your own family. You want to know why half your kids and your family members are strung out? Because they're too busy in the demonic world. They're too busy holding these phones in their hand. It's glued. Most people, I actually seen a kid walking around the other day like this. And when I looked at it, I'm thinking, my God, is his hand starting to form like he's holding a remote or a phone or a game paddle or something? People, this ain't what Jesus went to the cross for. Now, I know a lot of people got their channels out here, and I know a lot of people are deceiving, and they're saying things that it's somewhat true, but not 100% true. If you don't really know the facts of something, then you shouldn't be speaking it, because misleading people is how the devil starts getting his foot in the door. Because when you finally do hear something, you're trying. Now you're going to start second guessing it. Like I don't know if it was Tracy or Amber. I think it was Tracy. Said on here, the only problem is with this, when these people fake this stuff and go around and go on all these different channels, and people finally get exposed for it, it makes them start to discredit the ones that actually has. But that is a possibility. It really is a possibility, because I thought about that too before I even exposed it. But there's no way I could have. I mean, there's no way I could not have. But but the very things I've seen people, it's a fact. I got proof of it all. Because sometimes, I mean, even when I listen to people's nonsense and all the stuff they say, after a while, to me, even it starts to become like, my gosh, is this really a dream? Am I dreaming all this? Is this life a dream? Am I inside somebody else's dream? I mean, you ever see The Truman Show? Go watch it. And you'll see why I feel the way I feel sometimes. Because I'm like, my God, I can relate to that movie. Is this all just one dream? Or maybe it is. Maybe this is God's movie, because he holds the pen, unless you hold the pen to your chapters. I told you, I tried doing it. I ran the pen to him. Here, please take it. Take the book. Let's burn this version of it, because this was nothing but pain and heartache. Now, it doesn't mean that we're not going to go through trials and tribulations, but we're really going to go through it when you're getting ready to do something for God. And look how fast people came on here, ripping me from one end down to the next. Telling me this, telling me that. That's your opinion. Every sin, and I'm not coming against the guy that told me this the other day, and if he ends up watching these videos, which he probably doesn't anyways, but if he does come across this video or even the other one, he could be upset with me going, I can't believe you said that. Well, I agreed with him, but I did add on some things, and I still disagree. Giving your covenant to Lucifer, most likely you're not going to walk away from it. You look at the end times when you willingly, see, here's the thing, you willingly are signing this stuff. You're willingly giving. So telling that person that willingly gave themselves to Lucifer, because it's not Satan that you deal with. You're dealing with Lucifer himself. That's a bond that you're giving Lucifer. From what I know of, your name gets removed from the book of life. Because, people, that is blasphemy of the Spirit. Look up blasphemy. It's denial of Christ. It's denial of the Spirit, which is Christ in God. It's denial, people. You refuse to follow them. How do you know that Christ is still close to you? Because you're remorseful. You feel bad when you sin. If you get to a part where you're hardened and no sin bothers you, you don't even look at sin as sin anymore, you got problems. Big time problems. Because you can no longer glorify God, you're glorifying Lucifer. If you can't pray for those who come against you, and you can't do good to those who come against you, problems. You're not close to God. You're not close to Jesus. You're close to Lucifer. It's truthful. Because what does the Lord say? He said, pray for those who come against you, persecute you. Pray for your enemies that has done bad to you. Give them good when they ask. Do good to them. This world is falling apart. There's destruction, there's chaos, there's murder, there's people ripping babies' heads off, twisting their heads off their bodies, killing them, just cutting them. I mean, now we're giving rules to how far we can go before the baby. I mean, the last I heard is 6 months, 8 months. I mean, 6 or 8 months. I mean, that baby could be born and still live. That's a human. As far as I know, as far as I care, if they got heartbeat, people, that's disgusting. But I'm not going back on the abortion kick. It makes me sad. Especially when I seen an angel carrying that baby back into heaven, sobbing and crying because the angel has failed. And she's asking God, she's asking God, please forgive me, I failed. I failed you. As she's weeping. How sad is that? All because, look, this is my body. Okay? This is my temple. I want to put tattoos on it. Majority of the people that are piercing themselves, you know, let me tell you something about the demonic realm that I find very interesting that the people are doing right now. You know that stupid bull ring that people are putting underneath their nose? You know what that represents in the demonic realm? The chain hole. When you go to hell with that on there, they're going to shove that thing so far up in you and rip that sucker so far down out of you, half of your nose is going to come off your face. That's where they wrap your chains. It's your property market. It's like It's like putting a branding on you. But look at all the nonsense tattoos they start getting. I guarantee it's somewhere in the demonic realm. Anybody that stays in the evil long enough, they got some kind of beast on them. Black Panther, tiger, lion. Now, if you get a lion or a cheetah, or there's another one. Hold on. The panther's bad, but it's not as bad as high up wise. The leopard. Let me tell you, those three top ones. It's followed. It's a powerful tattoo to have. That's all I'm going to say. Then you see the ones with the double dragon heads on the dragon body. There's some that has a triple. If you ever come across somebody that's got a triple dragon head, get away from them. If you come across one that's got the triple dragon head and it comes into the dragon body with the serpent tail, snake tail, where their tail and feet, their back feet should be, you better run. And you better run fast, because that is nothing to play with. They are the wicked of wicked of wicked. They can cast a spell very fast. I'm telling you. I've watched guys get it. I watch guys get tattoos when they're doing the eyes of the tattoo of whatever they were getting. They'd all would prick themselves and open up the skin there and drip their blood into the eyes, and then you'd see the eyes start to form and this redness, and it became like this glass in their eyes. And I'd sit there and look at them. Sometimes I'd be sitting there at the dinner table looking at their tattoos, and I'd see the heads move. A tattoo, people. You may say, well, Nelson, they probably just moved their arms. Oh, no. When we sat with our arms, our hands like this. And when we start to eat, our other hand went flat on the table, and we ate. Whichever hand you was, left or right, the other hand would go on the table, and then you would eat. You never said a word until that dinner was done. Then you ask to be excused. You pick up your stuff, you pick up your trash, whatever you had there, you take it in there, you throw the stuff away, bones, whatever, you wash your plate, you put it away. You put it in your section. Your cup, everything, put in your section. And it was accounted for. Your fork, your knife, steak knife, your spoon. It was accounted for. Anything was missing, you better have a dang good reason why it's not where it's supposed to be. And let me tell you what, Sir would walk and check every time somebody completed their washing. So he knew it was there. Well, you're not going to get away with it anyway, so it didn't really matter. And there's one thing I could say, everybody told the truth in that house. Compared to a regular house that people lie like crazy. You think we'd be the liars. Isn't that something? You go into a Christian home, and a lot of people in Christian homes lie so bad. You go in a demonic realm, and they don't have to lie. They can just tell the truth, because why not? Everybody already knows what you're doing. There's no need to lie. But instead, you try to be something you're not, and you lie to try to cover it up. Well, when people find out that you're a fake and a phony, look what happens. Look how fast people turn on you. That random hand that used to reach for you are no longer reaching for you. They're turning away from you. People, we're in trouble. War is going to hit this United States. The Lord told me. War is coming. We got so much cartel over here. We got so much people over this border. We got people that are killing people, raping people. And the only thing we care about is whose rights is being offended. We can protest that, but we can't protest the nonsense that's going on inside of our grocery stores. We can't protest, and when I did bring this up, I said, we all, you know how many people come against me for saying that? Oh yeah, like everybody's just going to stop working and run up there. Well, why the heck can't we? We can all take a vacation. But yet, look at the gay rallies. Look at all the stuff that goes on that your children's got to watch. Look at all the stuff that's going in there. Wait till one of your children is getting raped. Then I don't want to hear it. And you better not say a damn word. Because we're settling. God made us to be the witness. God made us to be disciples. God made us to stand up for the ones that are weak. And children are weak right now. They're being raped. They're being killed. They're being sold off into slavery. They're being abused. Starved to death. And what are we doing? Complaining that, well, you know, we don't have, if we go up there, how are we going to do this? Well, how is everybody else doing it? We put these nonsense people into place, and all we're doing is saying, this person's going to save us. It was so much more better under Trump. I agree with Donald Trump, though. I do agree with him. 3.5 years, anybody that votes for Kamala, we are sunk. Only thing I'm saying is pray. Don't pray for who you should vote for, but pray for God's will. Because if Kamala gets in there, praise God, because we're going home. Trump, I'm not so sure. That guy, I'm not so sure. I honestly, I'm really not. I voted for him. I voted for Barack Obama twice too. I voted for him a second time, and then halfway through the second time, I lost my job. A lot of people were. A lot of jobs got lost. Not according to the Democrats, but it was true. Put a lot of time in that place. Because of taxes and all these things and all the business things, he just couldn't stay open anymore. By the sixth year of it, I'm going to say it again, by the sixth year of it, so you don't think that this thing's skipping. That's why I said I'll say it again. The 6th year of it, he had to shut down. That's something. It's sad, people. And I know I'm not coming against churches. I'm not coming against the stuff that people are helping people in foreign countries. But people, we need so much help here right now. I mean, St. Jude's, you're looking at the Children's Miracle Network. You look at the Ronald McDonald House. People, there is so many people that need help here. There's so many people that children are living behind dumpsters. Yeah, it's nice to see videos of children getting clean water. You know, we claim to have clean water too, but it's not so clean. Especially if you look at this filtering system that our cities have. I had a dream a while back about the government was going to poison our water and make us sick. And I know what you're all saying, well, I drink bottled water. You realize the recyclable garbage they put that water in? And I say recyclable garbage because all they do is shred all that stuff up. I was told by a guy that works in a recycling place, they don't even wash those things. They just throw it all into a big shredder thing and it turns it into little chips. And they take it and melt all this crap down and run it through a machine. It becomes pellets and then they melt it down and make bottles out of it. And then they sterile the bottles before the water and stuff goes into it. That's pretty nasty if that is true. Makes you want to go drink a bottle of water. Here you go. Here you go. I want to live right there. See them trees? I literally do. I picture right here, right on the side of this where the trees is, I picture an entranceway, and on the back part of this mountain, it's flat. and there's a nice little beach back there, and I built me a little cabin, little cottage shack thing over there. And on this side, you go to this side, there's bananas and coconuts. Hey, it's my dream. I can do what I want in there. How many times do you see banana? But I was told there is some islands that actually have bananas and coconuts on it. I don't know if it's true. Want some water? Yeah, look at this bottle. I just opened this. And look at the bottle. Is that, I mean, how is that even normal that the bottle literally starts to collapse? I mean, look at this. Pretty nasty. 100% recyclable. I don't know. It's time to pray, people. It's time to get God back in charge. We are failing at getting God back in charge. We're going to lose. We already took God out of so many things. Schools, churches, our daily lives. How many minutes? All right, we're almost to an hour, and I've been trying to keep these down between 30 to 40 minutes. Reason being, I want this stuff to really sit in your head. And I know sometimes when I go on and on and on, you might have to watch them a couple times or whatever. But let me tell you. I don't know what I was going to tell you. Let me pray for you. Heavenly Father, Father, we know the times are getting difficult, and we need to put our faith and trust in you. Father, forgive us for taking you out and allowing these things to go, why we take the back seat, why as Christians we sit back and we think that someone else is going to do it. Someone else is going to do it. I think of that song all the time when you start shaking your fist up at heaven and the voice comes back and says that this is why I created you. You created us for a bigger purpose, plan, and reason than what we know. And we know that you're in control. We know that you're in charge. We know that all things are done through you. We know that you are capable, and you're still sit on a throne of judgment. You're on that throne that Lucifer cannot do anything unless you grant the permission for it. We know anything on trials and tribulations that we go through, that you're in control over these things, and that we are capable of defeating this, and we are capable of overcoming it. And we thank you, Father, for choosing us. We thank you, Father, for loving us so much that you sent your Son, the Lord Jesus. Jesus, I would just come to you right now, and I just ask in your name, in your precious blood, that all that you have given, you taught us how to be obedient, you taught us how to walk, you taught us how to be faithful, you taught us how to lean on you in the times of trouble. And Lord, I tell you right now, I just lift all these people up, anybody that you lead into these videos right now, that they really take to these words to heart and really start to examine themselves and examine their households and examine their jobs, examine anything, because your spirit of you and the Father will speak. If we're in a church that is nonsense, speaking nonsense things, and the spirit, you keep the spirit muffled so long, and you start ignoring the spirit. And correct me if I'm wrong, Lord, stop my tongue before I say another word. If we do this long enough, we're telling the Father that we don't need him. We don't need that spirit. We're capable of doing it on our own. We become God. And I truly believe that, Lord. I truly believe that's exactly what I believe if we pretty much keep putting the fire of the Spirit out and go under our own understanding. But I lift these people up, and I lift knowledge. I lift for the spiritual blindness to be taken off of them, the spiritual hearing, that the devil can't put them in that spiritual sleep like he's doing these churches. And that's coming up to the next video, the spiritual sleep. Let us rise up. Let us rise up. And let us make you proud. Lord, I just pray these things in your name, in your precious blood be over us. And Lord, from my heart and the bottom of my heart, Lord, I love you and I praise your holy name. And this I say and I ask of in your name under the Father's authority. Amen. God bless you guys. Till the next one.